Hey, this is Signing with Omar. Today's video is going to focus on classroom signs. Are you ready? Let's get started. First, let's start with the sign classroom. And how I did that is I formed both C's with my non-dominant and dominant hand. Now, if you did not know this was a C, I made a video on the alphabet, so why don't you refer to that video as well. So take both hands, form a C, and then from here you go into a semicircle forward until the actual hands touch one another. Let me show you that from the side. Now the next part of that sign is room. Simply take both hands, place them out in front of the body, palms facing the signer. The dominant hand is further away, and then with one motion, move the hands until both of them palms face one another. Let me show you that from the side. So this is the whole sign, classroom. That's how you sign classroom. Now for the signs school, elementary school, junior high, high school, university, and college. To sign school, simply take your non-dominant hand, place that out in front of the body with the palm extended upward. From here, you'll take your dominant hand. Your dominant hand will strike up against the non-dominant hand twice, but it will strike up against the area of the palm closest to the thumb. Let me show you that from the side. That is how you sign school. Now for the sign elementary school. You'll take your non-dominant hand, place that in front of the body with the palm facing downward. Then with your dominant hand, you will form an E, place that up underneath the palm of the non-dominant hand, and rock back and forth twice. That's how you sign elementary school. For middle school or junior high, there's actually two ways of signing that. The first, let me show you, which would be middle school. Now what I did for that sign is I took my non-dominant hand, placed out in front of the body with the palm facing upward. With my dominant hand, I bent my middle finger, and then I did a circular motion right above the palm of the non-dominant hand, and then I actually touched. And then I did the sign for school. So let me show you that in real time. From the side. That's how you sign middle school. The second way of signing it, junior high, is you actually spell out JRHS. That's junior high school. For the sign high school, you just simply spell out HS, high school. For the sign college, simply take your non-dominant hand, place that out in front of the body with the palm extended upward. Now you'll take your dominant hand, place that on top of the non-dominant hand, but like a 90-degree angle, almost crisscross on top of the non-dominant hand. And from here, you will take your dominant hand, move it upward, and then arc around above the non-dominant hand. Let me show you that from the side. That is how you sign college. For the sign university, it's very similar to college. The only difference is one parameter, which will be the hand shape. If you didn't know what parameters were, I made a video on parameters, so please refer to that video. So for university, take your non-dominant hand, place that out in front of the body, palm facing upward. Now with your dominant hand, you do the sign U, or form the letter U. Place that on top of the non-dominant hand, and with the same motion as college, up and around. That is how you sign university. Let's talk about who's inside the classroom, which would be students, teachers, and professors. So let's start with the sign teacher. To sign teacher, you take actually both hands, extend the fingers out, bend them until they actually touch the thumbs. Place these hands right there on the sides of the temple or the side of the head, and with one motion you'll go forward, and then from here you'll take your hands and you will outline the torso of the body from the side. That's how you sign teacher. While I'm here, let me show you how to sign teach. Very similar to teacher, you actually take both hands, Bend them until they actually touch the thumbs, place them right by the temples, and move forward twice. From the side. That's how you sign teacher. For the sign professor, the only difference is you actually sign teacher, but you actually include university. So you sign university, teacher, university, and teacher. That's how you sign professor. Professors tend to lecture quite a bit. So to sign lecture, you actually take your dominant hand, place that out kind of on the side, but a little bit in front of the body. Move your dominant hand, bend it back a little bit, and then pivot at the wrist. That's how you sign lecture. For the sign student, simply take your non-dominant hand, place that out in front of the body with the palm extended upward. Then you'll take your dominant hand, bring the fingers together, place them on the palm of the non-dominant hand, and from here, move that dominant hand to touch the forehead. And then from here, you do the agent sign for person, outlining the torso of the body. So let me show you what that looks like real time. That's how you sign student. However, in the deaf community, you'll also see this. To me, that's a little bit sloppy way of signing student. I prefer as if you're bringing the knowledge to the student's head and then forming the agent sign for person. So these are two ways of signing student. Okay, let's talk about subjects that are being taught inside a school. Now notice for subject, I simply took my middle finger and my index finger on both hands, bent them down, and pivoted at the wrist. That's how you sign subject. Now let's talk about the subject of math. To sign math, you actually take both hands, form M's, place them on the side. The dominant hand will be right on top or above the non-dominant hand, and they will slide right across both. You see how the ring finger slid right across the index finger. That's how you sign math. Now to sign the different types of math like algebra, calculus, statistics, and trigonometry, they're very similar. The only difference is that parameter of hand shape. So for math, you use M's. But for algebra, you'll use A's. For calculus, you'll use C's. For statistics, S's. And for trigonometry, T's. So let me show you that one more time. Math, algebra, calculus, statistics, and trigonometry. These are the ways of signing the different subjects of math. How about science? Now, if you remember in science class, you spend a lot of time pouring liquid inside a test tube. Take a look at my thumb. This is how I remember how to sign science. My thumbs actually go or are angled backwards. So you'll take both hands and this backward motion as if you're pouring something. Let me show you that from the side. Now for the different types of sciences like biology and chemistry, very similar, except for chemistry, you use C's. And you'll go back just like you did with science. With science, you actually use A's with the thumbs extended backwards, but for chemistry, you'll actually use C's. And for biology, you'll use B's and go back just like you did with chemistry and science. These are the different ways of signing science, chemistry, and biology. For the signed gym class, for gym, you actually take both hands and I actually pretend that I'm raising up a barbell or something like that. So that's gym, and then you add class. Now, sometimes people, instead of saying gym class, they will say PE. So you actually sign the letters P and E. Playground. Now, to sign play, you simply make Y's with both hands and shake them or pivot at the wrist. And for ground, you actually take your dominant hand and just do an area like this right in front of you. So it's playground or play area. Okay, I'm going to add two bonus signs, subjective and objective. Let me start with objective. To be objective about something is actually stepping out of the situation and try to look at it clearly. So to sign objective, you simply take your non-dominant hand and form a C on the side, or you can actually do a 0, but I use a C. Then you will take your dominant hand, form a U, but bend the fingers and place them inside the non-dominant hand. You will step backwards, and now with your non-dominant hand, I will extend out my index finger, make a V with my dominant hand. These become like my eyes, and then I'll go from here to the front as if I'm taking a different look at it. So let me show you what that looks like in real time. From the side. That is how you sign objective. For the sign subjective, you tend to get involved. So to sign subjective, first sign tend, you actually take your middle finger, place it up against the heart, move it forward. And then for the portion of involved, you take your non-dominant hand, form a C out in front of the body. With your dominant hand, fingers apart, you move them to go inside the circle. As they move to go inside this non-dominant hand, the fingers come together. So let me show you what that looks like in real time. Or from the side. That is how you sign subjective. If you learned anything from this video, please hit that like button and subscribe. Last but not least, hit that notification button. If you're interested in learning more about American Sign Language, please check out my series on common ASL signs.